Hey, this is Amy from Motif Music Studios, and I'm here to talk about the metronome. And I am the most unlikely suspect here because I had some very poor habits as a student. Unintentional, well intentioned, but I would just crank that speed. I would try to play my piece from start to finish with a metronome that was I was unable to keep the tempo. I would get frustrated and go back to my reckless ways. So I'm here to help you out if you are trying to use a metronome and you're not sure where to start. Here are a few tips. So the number one tip is metronomes are not usually used to just dive in and do a whole piece at once. I really recommend to use a small section at first so you can maximize your success and hone in on what's really needed, which will save you time in the long run. So the first thing I love to do is turn it on, find a very slow pace that you think you could probably keep things under control. At first you might be doing hands separate work, or you might be already hands together. Then the next thing, once you find your pace, I love to actually find the beat and then tap the rhythms with the hands that you're going to use. So if you're working on a piece that has, say, this one has 16th notes, so you'd be like 1 and 2 and 1 and taka taka 1 and ba 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 da ba 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 ba. So you might be vocalizing with it, you might just be tapping, you might be moving your body. This is a great way to figure out the beat before you're trying to find the notes on your instruments, or the different percussion elements, or the different strings if you're playing a stringed instrument. So that is one of my top tips. The next thing, once you start, is to not get overly ambitious. So I again have some ambitious, optimistic habits in my past. So this piece I haven't played in about a decade. So here we go. This is at 46, and I would literally have to probably da 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 ba 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 ba. That's even fast, I think. 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and 1 So I might work on a section that small at first. The third tip I have, maybe I'm at 3, maybe I'm at 4, who knows. The next tip I have is that try to add those musical elements in right away. So it's really easy to get sounding a bit robotic when you work with a metronome. So it sometimes can take away your musical sensibilities. So if you're trying to learn a piece, don't forget to infuse that musicality back in, and still think about the musical phrasing, think about where the strong beat is and the weaker beats are, and think about the dynamics. Is this a piano section? Is it forte? So that you're not forgetting about those. It will take longer to infuse those in and use the metronome, but it is a fantastic tool. The metronome is included in Musico for students that are working with us already, so you don't need anything extra. Some students might be sensitive to sound or need more visual support. So this metronome here has a setting where you can just work with the light alone. So you can see it has a little blink on it, or you can use a more visual metronome. And the other tip I have is that I'm fairly auditory sensitive to a lot going on in the room. So if you're trying to play an instrument, you're trying to listen to a metronome, and there's other sound in the room, that might overload your senses and make it really tricky to do. So another tip would be to use earplugs and try to focus in with reducing the sound around you while you're trying to practice that. And next, you don't have to use the metronome all the time. It's a great tool, but you can certainly use it and then not use it. But I love recommending part of your practice every day, including the metronome. It will make you band ready and able to record music with others. It's a fantastic tool. So I hope that's helpful, and we'll see you next time.